amount of money.
Okay.
Oh, I'm saying that, if I think that. Oh, that's in property tax? Oh, property, yeah. Okay.
So,
So
that
that's
affects.
on property taxes, really not. Oh, that's easy.
Seniors,
That's what
especially.
that's what the seniors are asking me, and I don't have these answers, I don't know why they come to me.
We were gonna do a one, but then I know I could have used that 29, so I thought they were gonna do it.
Well, can we do it next month?
Absolutely. So they wouldn't be-
Awesome.
They wanted to do it before, wanted to do it before, when is, you have to be at the end.
I mean, the young lady in the fire department gets here.
And this is what's coming from now, so that would be net income, and that would be split.
Which 2/3 of it's coming from non-residents. That's why I'm looking at that number.
That much coming from. 50%.
Yeah, we just got more than one whole thing.
Yeah, and then,
Thank you.
but this is gonna be, both stages will be in the water line.
Okay.
And this is what's gonna be, so
Good.
if you pass this, then the fire and levy will not be out.
Okay. Now what does that mean? Lower out?
Lower taxes.
See, that's what I want to make sure it's
And
brought
that's,
out.
and that's why I wanted this. I did it for nothing, I know what it was, because I didn't like how it was. They weren't showing net income.
Show people, it's just like another thing that Joe and I are working on, and it's like, people want to know, if I do this, what am I going to get? If you can't tell them what they're going to get, they won't go there, they won't vote either way. That's some people.
Very public comments, we don't have anyone has signed in to talk, so therefore, we're going to move on to the pending new legislation, ordinance number 40, 2018.
Mayor, I move to keep ordinance 40, 2018 at its second reading.
Second.
We have motion second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is resolution number 44, 2018.
Mayor, I would move to offer resolution number 45, I'm sorry, number 44, 2018, title only for its first, second, and third reading. I'm sorry, yeah, read it in its entirety. I apologize.
We have motion is second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion is carried.
A resolution in appreciation to Sergeant Kenneth Turley of the City of Macedonia Police Department. Whereas Kenneth Turley has been employed with the City of Macedonia Police Department since June 16, 1987. And whereas Sergeant Turley became a full-time civil service employee of the City of Macedonia Police Department on or about May 15, 1995. And whereas for the past 30-plus years, Sergeant Turley has worked closely with the Mayor's Office, department head staff, and has provided dedicated service and protection to the businesses and residents of the City of Macedonia and the Nordonia Hills community as a whole. And whereas over that period of time, Sergeant Turley has become one of the most dedicated and respected members of the police department and has proven himself to be an invaluable employee as a result of his conscientious attitude toward all employees and citizens of the community. And whereas Sergeant Turley, served in a full-time capacity for 23 years, retiring from the service of rank of police sergeant on February 16, 2018. And whereas Sergeant Turley devoted service to the City of Macedonia, his devoted service has not gone unnoticed and is additionally recognized with this expression of appreciation by the city. And now therefore be resolved by the Council of the City of Macedonia, County of Summit, and State of Ohio. Sergeant Turley is hereby recognized for his more than 3 decades of dedication and tireless service to the City of Macedonia and its residents. the City of Macedonia, its mayor, council residents, employers, employees, and officials thanks Sergeant Shirley for his many, many years of dedicated service and congratulate him on his retirement.
Okay, you've heard the reading.
Move that we, oh, I jumped in front of you, I'm sorry.
Mayor, I move to adopt Resolution 44, 2018, and post the same according to law.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And before we pass on this, I just have some words to say about Kenny and Bonnie. And is that your daughter? Yes. Hi, honey. What's your name?
Bread.
Bread? Okay. I remember when you were a little baby. Well, I obviously had the opportunity to hire Kenny. So I was mayor at the time when we brought Kenny on. And, you know, I have to say that over all the years that Kenny was employed by the city, he was a stellar employee. He, all the years that he worked under me and now working under me to his retirement, he did an excellent job. He was very conscientious. He always was concerned for the city, and he put the city first. Not before Bonnie and Red, but he certainly was a very dedicated employee, and we appreciate his services to the city, and we wish you well in whatever you do in your retirement. I hope you enjoy yourself. But also, I have a little something here that Josephine shared with me, which was kind of cute. So I want to just talk about that a little bit. I guess you were going to Ireland, and you were going to, Josephine was going to Ireland, rather, and you gave her a patch, a City of Macedonia badge patch, and she took it to Ireland, and she took it to the Dirty Nelly's.
Dirty Nelly's Pub.
Yes, pub, and it was established in 1620, and it's located in Bunratty on the west coast of Ireland in County Cork. And so therefore, if you go into this particular bar, you're going to find a patch that Kenny gave to Josephine and Richard as they went to Ireland. Yeah. And so that's pretty cool, you know, because I'm sure that it's probably posted on the wall someplace over there, and I'm sure that one of these days that you and Bonnie hopefully will make it over there and take a look at that. But I have to tell you, I've been there. I've been to Ireland, I've been to Dublin, and when you go into the bars over there, you Irish people really know how to drink, I got to tell you that.
That's right.
I went onto Chapel, there's Chapel Street, I believe it's called. And when you go into any of the bars, when you walk in, there's like 5 or 6 bars within the bar. So everywhere you turn, there's a bar. And it's pretty cool. And that street is a really hopping street in Dublin if you ever get there. So we want to thank you for your services to the City of Macedonia. We want you to enjoy your service, or your retirement, rather, and enjoy your family.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I appreciate it. Josephine, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything, Kenny.
I love you.
Yeah. A couple of things, Mayor, that maybe people aren't aware. If you go to our website, Ken Turley wrote the history of the Macedonia Police Department. With Josephine's help, she pulled, I don't know how many hundreds of records for Kenny that he took the time to sort through and write that history of Macedonia Police Department, which he and I are very proud of. Something that Kenny is very proud of is he has his Master Criminal Investigator Certificate. Did I say that right?
Yes.
How many hours was that, Kenny? 600-700 hours at least?
It's several hundred hours.
Yeah, it's hundreds of hours. And Kenny, we don't have a lot of money for a lot of training. Kenny would use his own money to pay for some of those classes. Kenny would take his own time, holiday, vacation, comp, to put himself through that. It was that important to him. And it meant that much to the police department, and it should to the residents of this city, that he did that. And those are just some of the things that Kenny Turley has done. He's a very loyal employee to the city of Macedonia, to the Macedonia Police Department, and thank you, Kenny. Thank you very much.
And I also have to say, I'm not going to just leave it at that, Kenny, because I just got to mention just.
Well, now we know why Bonnie
Yeah.
probably argues that point, that previous point.
And Kenny was very instrumental, along with Tom O'Brien here, in the Veterans Memorial, and Bart Benjamin back there. I mean, you know, it takes people to make things happen, and you know, Kenny was very devoted and attended all the meetings and continued to push forward to make that happen. And we want to see you at the next meeting, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we thank you, though, for your services again to the city of Macedonia. And enjoy your retirement. Enjoy your family. Have fun. This is the time of your life. Okay. Thank you. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's carried. Kenny, thank you again.
Godspeed.
Okay, next item on the agenda is resolution number 45.
I'm just gonna wait 1 second. Come on.
Go ahead.
You want a
Wait,
picture?
take a picture.
Can you have a picture?
wait.
You have time, we'll wait for you. Come on.
I think I took a picture when you came, and now I'm taking a picture when you leave. There you go. Although we did this the other day, by the way. We had a very great lunch. Come on, Bonnie. Come on, Brett.
This might be a good Joe of time.
Did you see the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure thing.
You think I'll wait another second or two?
Sure.
On the web?
I didn't want your elbow in it.
Like this?
I forgot that I did married.
You did what?
I performed the marriage when they get married. That was before, obviously, Britain. Okay.
Okay, I'd like to offer ordinance number 45, 2018 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
We have a motion second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's carried.
An ordinance approving the editing and inclusion of certain ordinances as parts of the various component codes of the codified ordinances of the city of Macedonia.
Okay, you've heard the reading?
I move that we pass and post according to law, ordinance number 45, 2018, please.
Second.
We have a motion second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 46.
Mayor, I offer I move to offer ordinance number 46, 2018 for its first reading by title only.
An ordinance approving the application to renew the placement of land in an agricultural district concerning the property at 9541 North Bedford Road.
Okay, next item on the agenda is ordinance number 47.
Now for ordinance number 47, 2018 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's carried.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract with with Specialized Construction, Inc. for the repair of various streets in the 2018 road program.
Okay, you've heard the reading?
Mayor, before we vote on this, just to be clear, this is for the third phase of our paving. Mr. July, is there anything you want to add to about the bid that we can't, well, I can't talk today, about the bid that we got in and where we're at with this?
Yeah, I guess I'll just reiterate what we discussed in the work session. We received 2 bids, a low bid being slightly below the engineer's estimate by Specialized Construction. As such, I'm also recommending that we add in the alternates to do some additional crack sealing and to finish Berkshire Road. And we've got a lot of work ahead of us, and we're very excited.
That's also issue 3.
Issue
funds,
3.
correct? Yeah, so it's the dollars at work, and unfortunately, we're gonna have a tumultuous summer with barrels and all the good fun, but when it's all said and done, I think we'll all be very happy.
Yep.
So I move to pass and post according to law 47/2018.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 48.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 48, 2018 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 39, 2018, relative to the annual appropriations for additional expenditures of the City of Macedonia for the period of January 1, 2018 to December 31st, 2018.
Okay, you've heard the reading.
Just quick note of explanation. This is basically housekeeping. There's not a big change in our budget. This council is very much dedicated to keeping us within our spending limits so that we can hopefully increase the carryover at the end of the year. Hearing that, I'd ask that we pass and post according to law ordinance number 48, 2018, please.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried. Next item on the agenda would be,
Mayor, I offer ordinance number 49, 2018 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
okay, we have a motion second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried.
An ordinance amending section 16120 of the codified ordinances of the City of Macedonia regarding employee health care.
Mayor, I move to adopt ordinance number 49, 2018 and post the same according to law.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 50.
Mayor, I move to offer ordinance number 50, 2018 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried.
An ordinance confirming the final appointment by the mayor of Clifford Bender to the position of part-time firefighter.
Mayor, I offer that we pass and post an ordinance number 50, 2018 to the same according to law.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Again, are there any questions? I don't think that Clifford's here, so therefore I'm just going to move on. I don't think he's here. Is he?
No, they're not here. This
Yeah.
is just they're done with their one-year probationary
Okay.
period.
Okay, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 51.
I'd like to offer ordinance 51, 2018 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried.
I move to.
An ordinance confirming the final appointment by the mayor of Matthew DeBlaza to the position of part-time firefighter.
You've heard the reading.
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance 51, 2018.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 52.
Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 52, 2018 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
An ordinance confirming the final appointment by the mayor of David Smith to position of part-time fire inspector.
You've heard the reading.
Mayor, I move to adopt ordinance number 52, 2018 and post the same according to law.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 53.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 53, 2018 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion's carried.
An ordinance confirming the appointment of Steve Plata to the position of full-time building and equipment maintenance supervisor.
Okay, you've heard the reading.
Mr. Mayor, I'd ask that we pass and post according to law ordinance number 53, 2018, please.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Again, are there any questions?
This is a replacement?
Basically, this is a replacement. Yes, there's two that are replacing under the budget that we have in place.
Okay.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 54.
Mayor, I offer ordinance 54, 2018 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion is carried.
An ordinance confirming the appointment of Rich Trough to the position of part-time building maintenance worker.
You've heard the reading.
I move that we pass and post according to law ordinance 54, 2018.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Again, are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is motions and other legislative actions. Do we have any other motions?
I make a motion to approve the rejection of bids received pursuant to ordinance 14, 2018 concerning certain water main improvements along Shepherd Hills Boulevard and Robin Lane.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to reject the bids. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion is carried.
Mayor, do you want to give a brief explanation of what's going on there?
Just generally, is that we had three bids that came in for a water replacement on Robin and the Shepherd Hills Boulevard. The first bidder, which was the lowest bidder, obviously erred in his bid and came back and asked to increase it. And so therefore, we had to disqualify that bidder. The second bidder was somebody who had done some work in the city prior, and there was a street that was done in the city under that person's contract, and the street is kind of falling apart. So I felt that I'm not going to reward anybody for coming back to the city to do another project in our city. Although this company certainly wants to meet with me and wants to give justification as to why it wasn't really their fault, so I'm certainly open to hearing what they may say. But nevertheless, we think that in order for us to be fair about our bidding processes, that we should reject all three bids and go out for bids again. And the bid opening will be, what, like April 20th? Yes, so we've advertised already, so it's everything was in place, so we've already done that. We're in that process, so we'll have a bid back to council by the next council meeting. Okay. Any other questions on that? Hearing none, then we'll move on to correspondences. Do you have any correspondence? Okay, thank you. Mayor's report. I just wanted to say that I got a call from Rita, which is our income tax collection, and when I got the call, it was a great concern that the Senate committee was having a hearing on whether or not they were going to pass a law which would govern the ability of RETA to, which is a council of governments, was going to restrict their ability to communicate with the taxpayers that they're servicing. And so I got on the phone immediately with Frank LaRose, our state senator, and I actually got a chance to talk to him again today. And obviously the bill has been, out of the committee was voted out, so it's not going to be law in the state of Ohio, which is good. It's bad enough that the state of Ohio is collecting our income tax, and I'm not quite sure where we're at with us receiving any funds from the state, but they're going to be collecting our money, holding our money, and then I guess on top of that charging us, what, 15%?
No, it's anywhere from 0.5 to 5%. We're not sure yet.
Whatever the case be, they got their hands in our pocket, and then you wonder why we have to go to the voters and say to the voters, hey, we have to increase our base here because, you know, the governor's made his pot look really good. He's taken $650,000 out of our general fund, our local government fund, over the last 7 years. And that's the impact that the city faces at this time. And it's very unfortunate. And I expressed this feeling again to Senator LaRose, and you know, I told him that, you know, things need to be worked on down there, and you just can't continue to pass laws that are deteriorating local government. It's like taxation without representation. You know, they're making their budget look good, but they're transmitting down below where you're losing dollars, where you got to go out and increase your taxes, and that's really where we're at today. And we're not the only community. I mean, you got to remember all communities within the state of Ohio are faced with the same problem, and I'm sure that many of them are out on going to the ballot and asking their taxpayers to increase their budgets. Today we had a meeting, which was a very good meeting, by the way, at the Hard Rock Cafe. I met with Brock Milstein, with mayors of Walton Hills, mayor of Oakwood, and mayor of Northfield Village. And the thrust of our meeting today was that we're looking at ways that we as communities can come together and promote the jewel that we obviously now have, which is the Hard Rock Cafe. And we are, Macedonia, as a gateway into the Hard Rock, as well as is Oakwood and Walton Hills. So we're looking at ways how we can do streetscape and improvements to the Hard Rock. And it was a very fruitful discussion that we had. And there's going to be some participation through Brock Milstein, through the Hard Rock, to help with this process. So we're excited about it. We're going to obviously apply for any state and federal funds that may be available. But I see it as a real positive move with all the communities being involved. We all have a special interest, obviously, is just to see, you always want to see your neighbors do well. You know, if your neighbors are doing well, that helps you. So I want to see Northfield Village do very well with the Hard Rock, and their flow over will help, obviously, our city and all the other communities around us. So I'm excited about that. Committee reports. Do we have any committee reports?
Yes, Mayor, next Thursday at 6 p.m. we're going to hold a Streets and Highways Committee to discuss the 2018 road paving program. We're kind of going to go over the plan for what we're going to do and kind of put things into perspective for council and our residents. So that's our intent.
Great.
The Charter Review Commission is meeting every week. We have another meeting on the 24th. We're skipping a week, and then, or we won't be having a meeting on the 30th, but we still might have a meeting that week. Everything's going well with that. We hope to have inputs to put before council by beginning of May. So that's, and the minutes are on file with Josephine if anyone wants to see what we've been discussing up to this point. And then also we had a Parks and Rec Committee meeting at the beginning of April, and that went well, and we decided to have another meeting at the beginning of May. So, you know, we're happy with getting the construction started at the rec center and seeing the membership grow there. So I'm sure Angela will have more information.
Great. And I have to say that the Charter Review, I had met with them, last week or the week before?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple
We meet
weeks
all the
ago.
time.
Yeah, you guys do. And they're very devoted, and they're very thorough, by the way, and they're doing a very good job. I sat on the last Charter Review, and I know that how tedious and how much time you have to spend in looking at all of the things that you're looking at. So I myself appreciate the fact that residents have come together to study the charter. So
Yeah,
thank you.
Doing a great job. Lots of great discussion, and we should have some good information for you to present to council.
Right. Great. Okay, department reports. John.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy to report that our leaf collection has finally been completed after delayed 4 months late on that. We are making one more pass around the developments because there were some piles that were missed due to snow cover. Others had branches in their piles that they were left notes, and they have removed them, so we will go out to collect them as well. And then after that, we need some major TLC to the machines because they did suffer a lot of damages, so we can have them ready again in 6 months to do all over again. And hopefully we won't have any wind damages or severe weather to delay us this year. Pothole patching, to date right now we're at 76 tons that we've put down so far on the roads with the winter mix asphalt. So we really cannot wait for this road program to kick off, as they shovel us all by hand out of the back of a hopper. Our rain barrel workshop for April this year has been sold out. I think that is the first time that has happened before, so, but not to worry, we are holding another one on May 22nd and from 6 to 7. So contact the service department up in our office to get some information, and maybe we can go 2 for 2 this year for the sellout. And then also on April 21st is our Earth Day cleanup event and Arbor Day event held at 9683, the old fire station here in front of City Hall. Come in to register and you'll receive a free t-shirt, a meal ticket, and supplies to be taken out in our service trucks. Our crews will be there with our trucks to take you out throughout the city, help us spruce up the place, clean up some rubbish, and enjoy the day. And it's also good credits for high school kids for their community service hours. And that's all I have.
Great, thanks, John.
Can I ask
one
you a
other thing,
question?
Sure.
So, go ahead.
I didn't get to mention, I'm surprised you didn't mention this. The rec center, the footer is poured, and we are beginning to lay out the walls, the masonry walls. That is started today with doing some layouts, and actually block is going on the ground tomorrow.
I think it's important to kind of talk a little bit about the branch pickup, because that's not something we normally do. What I've noticed is a lot of people are putting extremely large piles of branches in front of their yard again, and that was more of a courtesy that we went above and beyond on for the storm, and it put us obviously in a precarious position with collecting everything, but just to be clear, that's not something we normally do because we don't have obviously the manpower or the time to do that, but can you expound upon that a little bit?
Well, there are still piles out there. We did not pick up everything. There are some piles that we had to leave behind because it took equipment for us to pick up, and we just did not have the manpower at the time. We had to get back on the leafing while weather was allowing during the winter months. So we are going to also go out and pick up some of these piles with our equipment, the brush piles. But again, some of them that still have leaves and things in them, we're not going to clean the yards down to a T. We're going to pick up the big stuff, and residents are going to have to do their part and help us out and pick up the smaller things that we taken out to the rubbish. But this is not something that we provide as a service. We try to do something to help out. It's set us back with our leafing. We paid a major cost for it, but we're just trying to get through it. We're almost completed with that as well.
Well, thank you for that. I know you guys have worked hard, so thank you.
Okay, thanks, John. Joe?
Sure, thanks, Mayor. With passage of the road program ordinance tonight, we'll immediately move forward, have the contract signed, and start paving roads here under Contract B. The only other announcement that I have to make is work has begun on Ledge Road. That's the joint project that we're doing with Northfield Village. The only thing of note is that traffic is eastbound only on Ledge Road. Westbound traffic has to take the detour.
Thank you, Joe. Angela?
Thank you, Mayor. As a few of you have touched before me, construction has started at the rec center, so there's a lot of buzz with the patrons coming in and out and actually seeing that. I know people have heard it was going to happen, but actually seeing that has just created a lot of excitement and a lot of anticipation at the rec center. We're getting a lot of positive feedback for that. So that's a positive. Our new equipment that we ordered, we just received word that that would be arriving at the warehouse of the supplier on April 27th. So it's coming in sooner than we had anticipated, which is a good thing. But from that point, we'll have to get on their schedule, which will be about 2 to 3 weeks out from that point in time. So what we will be doing, we're getting a lot of questions about what we're going to do with the old equipment, a lot of interest in people wanting to buy the old equipment. That will be going up on an online auction, probably in a little more than 2 weeks. We'll have more information on that we'll put out there for the public, so people know where to go, people know where they can go place a bid, and get all the information that they need pertaining to that. And lastly, I just wanted to announce that we applied for and received a $1,000 grant for our Learn to Fish program. So that event will be taking place again this summer in Longwood in June. It's the Saturday of Father's Day weekend, so we'll have more information forthcoming on that program as well. Thank you.
Remind me to talk to you and John tomorrow about maintenance of the ball diamonds.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Just to give my monthly update for Rita. For the month of April, we received nearly 800,000. As compared to last year, we received $611,885. So for the month, we're up $187,613. If you extrapolate that out and determine, last year we were receiving 2%, this year we were receiving 2.25%, we really should be at $3,184,371. So we're still, even though we're up for the year, we're still down $45,600 from where we should be. We are up though $308,000 for the year to date. For the refund program, we have received 277 refund applications. 159 refunds have been sent out. 90 refunds cannot be processed because Rita has not filed the return at this point, and we're going to continue checking on those. 15 refunds are ready for my review, and then there's 13 that we just received yesterday that have to be processed and then put for my review. So we are keeping up with, the volume that we're getting. 277 is nothing compared to what we could be getting. So we're just waiting for the influx to start happening now that everybody's filed their return, and you still have until July 15th to submit those refund requests. And then the water M&E did go out the other day as well, so those will be coming in too.
That makes everybody so happy.
Yes. Thank you.
Hey, have you continued, or have we continued the talks with Rita for them to handle the refund and all that? Because I know it's becoming obviously evident to everyone that this is important now, but have we talked with them at all?
I spoke with the CFO last month, and they created, I was waiting for them to send me an Excel spreadsheet for us to enter information to figure out what the refund that the individual should be getting, because they had talked about doing a report for us, but they said they can't do that as of this year because of the split year. So if this year our increase passes in May, they may not be able to do it again for this year. So I really don't know if they'll be ever able to get us a report that would show what a person's refund should be. So I'm still in talks with them because the Excel spreadsheet that they actually sent me is so confusing for me even, that I created my own, and it's basically similar to the one that we have on the website, and I might update the one that's on the website to be the one that I've created, because it actually tells you whether or not you get a refund if you're paying more than 2.25% or higher to another community. It automatically tells you that you're not eligible, and it shows a refund of 0. If you are paying 2.25 or less to, say, Macedonia or another community, then it'll automatically say yes, that you're eligible, and it'll calculate what the refund should be. So I might put those on the website as well, just because it's a little bit more defined than the one that I have up there now. But with Rita, I just don't know if they'll do it, because we're the only community that has this.
Well, I think with what we did, it's very unique, but I think it also helped to pass it. And I think we should exert a little pressure to say, hey, we need some help with this, because I know I got a call from my accountant doing my taxes, and we got some problems. So it was very difficult for her to figure out.
Truly, all you have to do is fill out the first 2 pages, and we'll take it from there. Give us a copy of the income tax return for Rita that you submitted, and that's all we need. We'll do the rest. And like I said, once the form that I'm actually using to calculate the refund, the process is going very fast. And so that's why we're trying to keep up with them. As you see, we've got 159 already done, and there's 110, 115 still waiting. But we can't even process 90 of those because they haven't been processed by Rita yet. So I have to wait to make sure that the tax return has been filed with Rita and processed before I can actually refund anybody any money. So we're doing what we can to try to keep up with it.
Well, I know you're busy. I just
Yes.
thought if we can continue to have that conversation.
I do want to, because there's got to be something they can do.
It'll make your life easier too.
Absolutely.
Tim?
Mayor, I follow the discussions on social media about the aerial ladder, and I just wanted to dispel a couple myths. The aerial ladder was built in 1990. We took delivery in 1991. There is no way to refurbish that piece of equipment. You can't. Refurbishment is complete replacement. The frame is cracked in several spots. It is 1990 technology. It cannot be updated. Maybe 15 years ago, it might have been updated, and it probably wouldn't have lasted this long. Refurbishment is extremely expensive. It would probably be about $700,000 to redo that truck, and it would give us another 3 or 4 years. It's just not worth the money to put into it. And we all go through this with our personal cars. When you're repairing your car more than you're driving it, you make the decision to purchase a new car. Please, does anybody have a 1990 vehicle that they're still driving on a daily basis? It's 27 going on 28 years old. It's now an antique. So there is no, unfortunately. And then also I read a whole bunch of just call another city and use their aerial truck. So they're really happy to go out and purchase their own aerial truck and then send it over to our residents that aren't willing to purchase an aerial truck in the city. It's 2.5 miles is the distance that the aerial truck should reach our building. There is no other community that is able to do that, or probably willing to send their truck over if they're not using it. Okay, because they had to also spend the $1 million to purchase the piece of equipment. So there is no, believe me, if there was something out there that I thought that we could do, there is nothing. And we already consolidated. We're working together with our neighbors. But as far as an aerial truck, we have to have that aerial truck, or our ISO rating will dramatically go up, which will make insurances way more expensive for our businesses and for our residents. So there is no, I wish there was, but there is nothing out there that we can just magically fix this truck and make it brand new. It's not going to happen.
I think if you start looking at how we would amortize the existing truck, it costs us like $20,000 a year for the 27 years that we've had it, because I think we paid just over $500,000 for that one.
Yeah, it was 500,000 when we purchased it in 1990. So now we've been trying for a grant. We've tried for the last 3-4 years to get a federal grant. Of course, we try for any grant that we can possibly get. They give out a couple $100 million, and their requests are over $1 billion. I mean, so they have to be very judicious in how they hand out their money, and most of their money goes out for safety equipment, SCBA, and stuff that is directly related to safety, not buying everything for every community out there and expending that money. We're going to continue to try for that but if it's a year to build a truck. So if that truck goes down tomorrow, we don't have a truck for a year. That's it. They don't have a parking lot I can go to and pick out 4 or 5 different trucks. They're just not there. They're built as you spec them. And that's just the way it is.
The last one was built, I can't tell you how many trips I went to Columbus to see how it was how the progress of it. It took a long time.
Yeah, it's a custom-built truck. You spec it out, and it's a custom-built truck. They're just not out there where you can go out and pick 4 or 5 different trucks out there and drive it home. You're just not going to be able to do it. So I just wanted to address that. It's frustrating to me to see, but there's nothing else other than buying a new truck. That's it. And we've been trying to get somebody else to pay for it, like the federal government, and they haven't come through. So that's it.
I also saw someone, so why don't we save for one? You want to touch on that one a little bit, or maybe even Rhonda could talk about that? I mean, we're not in the business of saving money. When we get tax dollars, we utilize them for safety forces and services, and to save $1 million, initially it was $1.3 million for the one we wanted, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, but by the time we get to it, it'll probably be $1.2 million. They go up every year.
So to save $1.3 million for us with what we've got going on is, I don't think, feasible.
No, because we're actually using all the dollars from the fire levy. It's coming in to be used for the fire department to help pay for 3 employees plus the extra in pension. So those dollars are pretty much gone. So what would happen is if the income tax increase passes, hypothetical, if it passes, and then we would not renew the 1 mil fire levy, we would actually allocate an extra portion to the fire department to cover the current costs, plus an additional amount of money to cover a payment for a fire truck. That's the only thing that the fire department would be gaining.
I apologize if I'm talking out of turn or going too far here, but, you know, another thing I saw was, well, you know, you didn't know you needed one. Chief, I know you've talked about this for at least the past 5 years. You were on point. You said, guys, it's coming down the road. It's coming down the road. And here we are 5 years later going, uh-oh. So this wasn't something that cropped up last year or to this year. I mean, we knew about it, but it's expensive, so.
Yep. Okay. Chief?
No report, Mayor.
No report. You don't want to talk about our school summit, how great that was?
I wasn't gonna steal your thunder, but we had a.
No, I've already
You know.
given mine.
We had a school safety summit, representatives from surrounding communities, first responders, public officials from the county, and we talked about a lot of the things we're doing to keep the schools, students safe. We are way ahead of many of the districts. When I talk to other chiefs and talk to the school officials and hear what some of their counterparts in other districts are doing, we have a long way to go, but we are way ahead of most districts. We're working on reunification now, and that's been over a year-long process in and of itself, just with that aspect of our plan. I'm scheduled to do an ALICE presentation April 19th. I was approached by the PTA talking about doing something for the PTA, PTU at various schools. So we're always trying to look at ways to make our schools safe. As I mentioned at the meeting, you, Mayor, saw that we needed somebody in the schools, an SRO, Patrolman Nickel, long before Parkland and the Maryland shooting and whatever, and now everybody's screaming we need SROs in the schools. You saw that right after the election and got that done. So we have Glenn in the schools. I know John Zalgus is putting one of his guys through SRO school, that they're going to have somebody at Lee Eaton. Dave Hayes has a guy in and out of Rushwood a little bit, and I know West Dobbins stops in the middle school, St. Barnabas, and Northfield, but we talk safety because it's something that everybody is concerned about, and we're doing our best. So.
Yeah, I think it was a very good meeting that we had, and obviously, you know, there's no easy answer for what goes on in schools. I mean, if somebody wants to commit harm to other children in a school, or teachers or educators or whatever, they're very vulnerable, unfortunately. You know, you can either catch a kid going into the school or out of the school, or at a recess, or at a football game, or a basketball game, or whatever the case may be. So that's the unfortunate thing. And I think that they learned from the Parkland situation, and I think it was the Columbine one, where they just blew the glass out and went right into the school. So
Sandy Hook.
Was that what?
That was Sandy Hook, yeah.
Oh, Sandy Hook. So no matter how much security you have at the entry point, if somebody wants to get in, they're going to shoot the glass out and make it in and cause havoc. And you know, I think the resource officer is in fact a absolute for all the schools in the Nordonia Hills area. You know, having a resource officer there is a kind of a point person. The kids start to confide in that person, so he starts to learn what's going on a day in and day out basis. When he sees something that's going wrong or something that needs attention, he can either bring it to the school's officials and they can take some action, or he can intervene. So, you know, we committed many, many years ago, and the unfortunate thing is that there's two fronts that we are dealing with today. Back in the day when we put the DARE officer into the schools, we were dealing with drugs. You know, drugs were obviously the essential issue that we were under the DARE program. And now today we got two fronts. We're dealing with drugs here and violence over here. So we're trying to combat both of them at the same time. And I think that the schools will have a commitment to provide security within the schools, so. I know that that's a main concern by a lot of parents, grandparents, educators that work in the system, that, you know, they're afraid. You know, my daughter's a school teacher in Beechwood. You know, she walks down the hallways and she's on full vigilant alert to make sure that, you know, if she sees something, you know, she's gonna react to it. But I know that fear extends to just about every school and every place. You just don't know where it's going to happen. It just doesn't have to be at a school, by the way. It could be in any public building. It could happen just about anywhere. And I think today we have to pay more attention to what we do. And there was a bucket, by the way, which University Hospitals brought, which I think is a great tool that we're going to probably institute and put into the rec center and to other public buildings, and hopefully the school's going to put them in every classroom, and that is the Stop the Bleed bucket. And that's something that University Hospital has put together. It's with special tourniquets and larger pads and things that don't normally come in a first aid kit. So we're excited about being able to get that. And I think University Hospitals has indicated that it's likely that they would provide those maybe free of cost as well. So
I doubt that. That's a collaboration, yeah. We would have to go out to gather the buckets. They said the first aid supplies, since they could buy those in bulk and get a good deal on that. But the other items in there, depending on what they are, we would have to work and
well, the
work
bucket should
together
be
with the
easy for
schools.
us to get. We could probably get a contribution for that.
Right, and that's what we would look for.
I have an extra bucket at home.
Some community partners, you know, with the sticker that we could put on it.
Yeah, what we would do is put a sticker, a label on it,
Yeah, it's, you know, it seems like a simple thing to stop somebody's bleeding or stop your own bleeding, but it's just not taught, you know, with a tourniquet and being able to do that. Unfortunately, a lot of these kids, especially, this was done from a study from Sandy Hook, that a lot of those children could have been saved. They weren't life-threatening. They just bled out. Nobody knew how to stop the bleeding on them, so.
yeah. I think we've taken a step in the right direction in trying to see what we can do as a government along with the school system. So it was a very fruitful meeting. So, okay. Any unfinished business?
No report, sir.
Easy to forget.
Yeah, I know. Gee, how did I forget you? I knew he was busy.
He's writing poetry.
Any unfinished business? Okay, any new business?
Yes, Mayor, I just want to let the residents know that for our next council meeting on Thursday, April 26th, I will be the host of the council office hours. And then anybody that would like to can come in and speak with me and any other council person that shows up at that particular time. There's always somebody else there. There's always at least two of us.
Thank you. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Thank you all for being here tonight. Drive safely home.
Turbo over here.